What's up, you guys? It's Chris Ivan. Let's talk about the 20 signs that you're dating a covert narcissist, including covert passive-aggressive narcissists. These are some of the 20 red flags that you are going to see. If you find yourself going through these 20 red flags with me and you notice that your partner or wife or husband or mother or father knocks off on a lot of these or a significant number of these, then you know that you are most likely dealing with a covert narcissist. This is really going to be very important to help you recognize this person. I know that when I dated my covert narcissist passive aggressive girlfriend, that it was very difficult for me to know exactly what was going on. It was just the most confusing relationship in the world. And once I came across this list of red flags and I was able to understand that these are common signs of covert passive aggressive narcissists, then I was able to fully recognize what was going on. And by being able to see that these flags were happening in my own relationship, I was able to see that I was with this kind of person. So if you possibly think that you're with this kind of a person, then stick with me as I share these 20 signs with you. As a bonus, I will say this: the fact that you even have to look this up is kind of a red flag on its own. That is coming to that realization made me think, if I was in the world's happiest relationship, in an incredible loving situation, then there would be no need to even look this up or look at this. So with that being said, let's go ahead, let's dive into it. First, they sabotage days that are special to you. Birthdays, holidays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever. It doesn't matter. Any day that is special, that is important to, they will sabotage that day. Specifically, for me, it was my birthday. My partner sabotaged my birthday. They didn't even show up. Seriously, they didn't even come to my birthday. They made it not special. They made it terrible. Anyway, they forget things like when you ask them to pick up some more tomatoes when they're at the store, they might say sure, whatnot. That's just an example. I know that my partner occasionally forgot to we would agree to exchange information just to make sure that we were always within the healthy lines of a relationship, and she would forget to tell me things. She would forget to check in with me just to make sure things were okay, and it just didn't really work out. They are good at apologizing, but it's not sincere. Their apology seems sincere, but it isn't, and their future actions reflect that. There were so many times in my relationship where something wrong would happen, and there were two ways this always went down. I would bring up something that maybe was frustrating to me as a person, and my partner would either say it was my fault and they were projecting their own flaws onto me, or if once they were done trying to make me feel horrible for even saying anything, I would finally have enough of it and say, whatever, I'm done with this conversation, I'm stepping away. Then they would apologize and get all nice and be all over the top kindness. And then their apology felt like it only came from the point where I decided to stand my line and walk away. So I knew it wasn't a real apology. And any future actions made me question whether or not that apology was real. And then in the future, once any situation came down that was similar to what we had just talked about, it was like we never even had the conversation. It didn't even matter. It's like it didn't even care. So, next, fourth, they will act like they care about you to others, but when you're sick or recovering from an injury, they despise taking care of you, and you will feel their underlying resentment of you. Now, this is a very important one, because when people are sick or feeling hurt, that is a time to care for them. That is when someone needs your help. And this person will just be upset because the attention is not all on them. And they have to give. And it is not in their nature to give as a narcissist. It's in their nature to take. So be aware of that. Fifth, they won't do anything obvious, but you will never feel good enough for them during sex. You will feel like something is wrong with you. Honestly, even as a guy, this is true. This is not just true for women. I'm sure for women, I feel terrible for women that have to go through this situation. You girls probably feel very used and very unhappy and just not very appreciated. I can say as a man, I didn't feel attracted to her. I felt like she did it because I wanted to, not because she actually desired me. It just felt like it didn't matter what situation I created. It felt like she never really even cared. As the girl, I can't necessarily, I can only imagine what's like as a girl, and if you've ever felt used, I'm really sorry that you went through that situation. There's people like me that are here for you. 6, they will pit you against other people, and you will never notice that they are the actual cause of the rift. See, now this one is very interesting to get into. It can be a very subtle how they go about doing this. Covert narcissists may tell you one thing, and then they may tell another person another thing, and you won't even notice that there's kind of drama between people now. I noticed that in my relationship, it was a little more overt, and I would say that for a more intelligent covert narcissist, they would be a lot more passive and a lot more hidden in sowing seeds of doubt. In my relationship, it was pretty overt, where she told me, things like, don't be friends with this person. This person was saying this bad thing about you. In fact, I remember one time specifically where she told me somebody was talking trash about me, which I knew wasn't even a possibility of reality, because I knew this guy that she was referring to, and I had talked to him and we were cool. And then she told me that he was saying all these mean things about me, and I just knew it wasn't true, but I knew that she was trying to cause lines and divisions. And it would happen in any social situation. She would cause lines and divisions between people. For example, one time I had a friend group that we got along perfectly for years. She came into the friend group as I was dating her, and then there were problems and drama in that friend group, and I knew that the only thing that had changed was bringing her into the relationship. So if you've noticed, since you have started dating or being with or having this covert narcissist in your life, how have they affected your other relationships, not just them? This is a common tactic they use because they want to isolate you. If they can isolate you, then they can win. They can keep you all to themselves, and then they don't have to deal with any of their insecurities because they can just suck the life out of you. Next, they will never or rarely praise you for anything you accomplish. Yes, this can be pretty significant. I know with mine, I had some really cool accomplishments, and she told me it was embarrassing and not to talk to her. And I was like, everybody else thinks it's sweet besides you. Anyway, they will put most of life's responsibility for the home, the kids, the bills, etc. on you. With this person, it's not about teamwork. It's all about them. It's all about how you can make their life work, not about teamwork. Number 9, they appear calm, but you feel their underlying rage like a dormant volcano. Oh my gosh, was this true for me? And I hope that maybe you're in that situation as well. Some of these people, even though they can be silent, it just feels like they are just waiting with a knife to stab you in the back or to look at you in the eyes while they stab you in the chest and ruin you, because they just have that much anger inside of them for whatever reason. Next, number 10, you are the one that puts all the effort into the relationship, not them. Are you always the one initiating? Are you always the one starting? Are you the one always putting the effort and enthusiasm into it? I noticed this was very true in my relationship. The enthusiasm was coming from me, although at first it seemed like it was coming from them during the love bombing stage that I talked about in my previous video about how I dated a covert passive-aggressive narcissist. As time kept moving forward, I noticed that the effort and the enthusiasm only came from me. 11, they don't take personal responsibility, but they will tell you they do. This is quite a manipulative tactic because everybody knows that taking responsibility for your actions and for your life is a good thing. And if blaming you does not work, then they will pretend to take responsibility because it is the last resort, but they don't actually care to. Because taking responsibility for stuff is not their natural state. Blaming you is their natural state. Next, they project their own issues onto you, and you end up taking the shame and blame. They do this in a way where you don't notice it happening. If you find yourself in this situation, then it's very important for you and I as self-reflective people to be able to draw a line in the sand and to know when we are responsible for things and when we're not. And although it's very rough because these people can fight so hard to blame things on you, there are certain times where you just have to draw the line in the sand and just say, no, I know this is not my responsibility. And it's very difficult when over time your self-trust is depleted. You must take the time to fully trust yourself, draw that line in the sand. If it's tough at first, then you must be willing to have the courage to stand up, or you may be in a situation, since covert passive aggressive narcissists will not leave you alone, where you may have to silently and secretly back off and remove them from your life if possible. Next, you will experience health issues like fibromyalgia, autoimmune disease, chronic fatigue, depression, anxiety, candida, and urinary tract infections. You will attribute these to other things when your body is affected by being in a relationship with a covert narcissist. This was very true for me, especially lethargy and feeling like I was depressed and low-key a little bit suicidal sometimes, but I knew those things weren't my core. It's easy to blame that on other things, but seriously, your body's just telling you that there's something wrong in your relationship. Next, they often punish you with the silent treatment. They will not talk to you. They will not reach out because, again, this is one of their strategies that they use to suck the life out of you. If they do not communicate with you, then the only option you have left is to go put even more energy into trying to communicate with them. And again, they're rousing you up to energy and then stealing your life force out of you. Next, they can be great parents when the kids are young. That changes when the kids begin to think for themselves. Now, thankfully, I'm not in this situation. I did not have children with my covert narcissist, but if you are in this situation, I think it's very important for you to recognize that you must be very careful with your children. They may try to pit your children against you, and they're going to try to suck the life force out of something. It might be out of your children, it might be out of you, but if you're in this situation, then I highly recommend you try to find other people that have a covert narcissist co-parent, that you are in a similar situation to you, so that you know exactly what will be the best way to deal with that situation. I wish I could give you better advice on this one, but I just personally have not experienced this exactly. 16, they are well liked by others. Now, this is because covert narcissists are chameleons. They will change themselves to match other people. Therefore, people think that they're just like them and they get along great with other people. And nobody really might see any other flaws with them, but you, having been very close to this person and being able to see deeper into their soul, then you will be able to notice these things, and maybe you will feel like you're being gaslighted. Maybe people will make you think you're crazy, but in reality, you might just know the truth and nobody else can see it because the chameleon is hiding. 17, they don't have close friends that really know them. I know this was true in my relationship. She claimed to have a best friend or two, but I never saw them ever. And I could never tell you if they hung out consistently or not, or if she ever saw them, because she would always go from one friend group to another, and she would never stay in one friend group for any specific period of time, maybe just 2 to 5 hangout sessions with each friend group and then on to the next. And maybe it's just part of being a chameleon. I don't really know. But if they don't have a very close friend group, it's for this reason. They're always moving around. They can be chameleon type people, becoming whom they are around, so people feel heard and understood by them. This is common of what they do. If they feel heard and understood by people, then people like them and they get more attention. So they will be chameleons. These people do not have a strong sense of self. I don't even know who my ex-girlfriend was because she would change so much. If you're with a person that does not have a strong sense of self and they keep changing to please other people, there's a very big sign that you are dealing with a covert narcissist. Finally, 19, Well, we have one more after this. 19, they become you. Later, when they discard you, they become their next target. I know that I had this also very true in my relationship. She just pretended to like all the things I liked, and even things that I knew she didn't like that then she claimed to like and say she was like cool with and stuff, which I knew she wasn't originally, and it would always change. And these people, all they're trying to do is they're trying to be like you so you relate to them, because as humans, we naturally relate to people that are similar to us, and if they can be similar to us, then we will like them more. Finally, number 20, your relationship with them will appear nearly perfect to others, and you will be in a relationship with them for years, even decades, without noticing the above traits. Now, this depends on how intelligent your narcissist was, how good they were at hiding it, how they handled every situation. It's very easy for these people to be socially intelligent so that they can maneuver themselves, because that is their strategy for survival. If they can maneuver themselves through society without being seen, then they are good to go, because the moment that you see the truth that they are a chameleon, that they change, that they're a narcissist, these people get removed from your life, and that threatens their safety. They don't like that, because then they don't have a life force to feed off of. So if any of those 20 signs you have personally experienced in your relationship, please make sure you go ahead, talk to someone, pick up the same book that I picked up, and just know that you're not alone. And if you have finally come to the realization through this video that you are with a narcissist, then you probably should be planning an exit strategy. If you were kind of curious and you're thinking that wasn't the covert narcissist, then I will be in a way pretty surprised, because then you have other relationship issues. To even be able to look this up, there's got to be other relationship issues. Most likely, if you look this up, it's because you're probably dealing with this kind of person, unless you're just trying to get educated so that you can help people who maybe are dating covert narcissists and have those people in their lives. So with that being said, thanks for sticking to this video. I hope you found it valuable. Hit the subscribe button down below. For the next 100 subscribers, I will be doing a $100 giveaway. So hit the subscribe button, and I'm entering you a chance to win $100. Make sure you go get your free Legend wristband. The link is in the description down below. I don't make any money off of it. Just help me out with shipping. I'll send that to you, and feel free to shop some Legend merch. Help support me as a creator. I'll see you guys on the next one.